Fool's Day. Good to have you with us here today. If you're a parent out there and you have a question that you'd like to ask, I'm inviting you to give us a call. The number is 322-367-3226. I got to remember that I'm not in Nassau. The number is 367-3226. If you want to ask a question today of our guests and any of the students, feel free to give us a call. Again, it's 367-3226, and you can ask your question. The L.I.F.E program, it's divine intervention and purpose-driven on the life of Brother Whitney Bain, who, by the way, is we should put this up front. He's a born-again Christian, loves Jesus,
amen,
and is subjected to living a godly life for the benefit of those who are watching. We don't want that to come in as a sidebar when we present ourselves. We want you to know first whose we are and why it is we speak. Cyber Learning embraced you, ACH embraced you, and SC Boodle has embraced you.
Yes.
Have you made this application for other schools in Abaco?
I have not at this stage, because as I make the application, I feel it's going to be better to do it in a global sense, in reference to actually having an identified space for the event and then inviting students to come in, and doing it in that way, so that you're actually able to get more students.
So you're looking to create your own venue?
Yes, or use an existing venue.
Facility, yes.
Yes.
And then have them come to you during the day, during the evening. How's it going to work? On weekends?
Well, what I want to do is do it during times when school has taken a break.
Yes.
For example, Easter coming up, or during the summer, as well as when I get further entrenched in the program. I'm sure there'll be a call for doing something maybe in the evening time.
Okay.
So that there'll be an ongoing activity where life is concerned. And life is not just for young people. When I say young people, school-aged young people.
Yes.
It's for young adults as well. Because, Pastor Mills, so many persons that I talk to say that they look at their lives, and if they could change their lives, they would. They should have listened more in high school. They should have done this better when they were younger. But what I'm doing with these young people is getting them to actually see it now. Okay, start to think now. Ask yourself these questions so that when you get to 25 or 30, you won't be still fumbling around with trying to get a direction for your life. You already have that direction, and you're actually pursuing it.
But you know, what happens though, and as you look at the society, Mr. Bain, even with programs like this, a lot of young people, and not necessarily young people, even adults, are not doing what their vision was, their aspiration was. They're doing what is available.
True. But
they get stuck in doing what they're available, what is available for the rest of their lives, and never achieve what it is their goal may have been.
That is the case. But I've heard stories of grandmothers actually going back to school and getting their degrees. So it means that you never give up on your dream or your goal. Your job is your seed bed to where you want to go. I don't care if it's saving $5 a day or $10 a day. You save what it is that you need to save in order to get to where you need to go. As I mentioned before, my friend Dr. Timothy Williams, it took him years to be able to save the funds and the drive. And can you imagine the anguish that he has to think about, will I ever make this goal? Will I ever hit this dream? I'm working for someone here, but I want to be there. It means that there needs to be an internal power within you that pushes you to where you want to go. And then again, like I said, incremental steps, small steps to where you need to go. So, I mean, if you're 30 years old, 25 years old, 35 years old, listening to us today, you could very well still obtain your goal. It's just a matter of creating that plan, analyzing what your situation is right now, creating that plan, and being able to execute on that plan. The closer you move, or the sooner you start to walk towards your plan, the closer you are to achieving it. But if you stand still and say, boy, I wish I could do this, you will never achieve it. It'll just be a thought in your mind.
You have a number of students who've been a part of the program, and these four today, Brandon and Regime and Raznay and Jesse are just among the few. Do you have a tracking system in place so that you can begin to track these four?
Actually, I do. What I've developed is an ability to have their contacts, you know, email contacts and such. And then I also create an item that enables them, I create an item that enables them to be attached to me in reference to via email. What I'm doing then is feeding them information specific to what interest they show.
Okay.
And beyond that, at the end of it all, what I do is create what is called a profile for them.
Okay.
After we would have gone through all that we have done, Habakkuk said, write the vision down, make it plain so that the person who sees it can run with it. I want them to run with their own vision.
Yes.
And so what I do is actually create what is called a life profile.
Okay.
I articulate what their strengths are based on the items that we use to identify those strengths. I also identify what the development areas are. So they have at the beginning of this document the strengths and then the development areas. After that, we identify what their key short-term goal is. What is it that you want to achieve right now?
All right, let's see what you have here, okay? We say short-term goal, to become a better speaker.
Right. So a lot of our young people have a difficulty in speaking. So to become a better speaker would be the short-term goal.
Yes.
And the action steps then would be 1, observe speaking methods used by popular speakers.
Yes.
So you pattern yourself after someone who does it already. And then the second thing is you need to learn some new words. You need to learn new ways to express what you have in your mind. So bringing concept to reality. Third,
learn 10 new words per week.
Yeah.
You're building a serious vocabulary.
Yeah. That's what was when I was in high school. That's what my teacher did to us. We learned every Friday we got 10 new words, and we got the exam on a Monday. We had to use these words in sentences and our expressions and everything. And what she did over time was build a vocabulary in us, so much so that we wouldn't have to be seen as ignorant when we talk.
Yes.
And it helped a lot of us. And so to
putting words in sentences where they don't belong.
You understand?
Yes.
Yeah. So to become a better speaker, you need to learn new words. Read one book every 2 months. Our young people do not read.
I can tell you what one of the things that helped me is that years ago when Bill Clinton was president of the United States, I would watch this guy get up there and speak for an hour without ever looking down. I couldn't figure out what in the world it was he was doing. I said, he's got a memory. Look how he's pulling out all these statistics and everything. Then all of a sudden, I saw speech prompters.
Right.
And you know what? I said, one of these days I'm going to have a speech prompter. And sure enough,
you got one.
I got my speech prompter. When I preach in church, I use my speech prompter.
Excellent.
Because it was so impressive.
Right.
You saw someone else do it, like you say.
Right.
Observe speaking methods used by
popular speakers or effective speakers.
Yes.
And this can be done for any aspect of the young person's life.
Read one book every 2 months?
One book every 2 months, yeah. And what that does for you, it helps you to understand how other people think, how they present their thoughts on paper. And it's not a matter of you accepting everything that you read either.
Yes.
You know, I've said to them before, you have to challenge what you hear. I may be bringing some things to you that can benefit you.
Yes.
But still, think about what I'm saying and come back to me and say, Mr. Bain, I don't think that's right. And this is why I don't think it's right. See, that's the part of critical thinking. Getting them to understand what it is that they're being presented with, analyzing it, digesting it, and saying, okay, yeah, it does make sense. I'll take it in.
Yes.
No, it doesn't make sense. I'll reject it. And so you're getting them to the point where they are adults and they're independent thinkers and they become critical thinkers.
And of course, you want to always remind them that if you use somebody's quote, give them credit for it.
Definitely. You don't want to plagiarize. You want to be able to actually say, well, this came from this person.
And what something else on this practice? Long-term goals for your vision.
Like, for example, one of our young persons in a session I did recently wanted to be an entrepreneur. So what I say is, to be a communications entrepreneur, prioritize and learn all the key aspects of my desired field within 18 months. I gave that example earlier. Look at the field that you're going into as a young person, as a young adult. Break that field down into sections. If it's 10 sections, take, say, 2 months for every section. And so within 18 months or 24 months, you would have learned every aspect of that field. So that's what I'm saying here. Prioritize it and learn all the key aspects of that desired field. And in reference to a communications entrepreneur, study an advanced English language and engineering course within 24 months. So they were looking into being an English master. So you got to study English if you want to be a communications entrepreneur.
Well, you know, as you talk about communications entrepreneur, I don't know if Bahamians realize that this, again, is a wide open area in the Bahamas. When I say that, we don't have any business establishment that identifies itself as speechwriters.
Right.
You have a couple of individuals who are speechwriters for cabinet ministers and members of parliament.
Right.
But there is a serious need for speechwriters in the Bahamas. And if you don't make it as a effective speaker, another aspect of it is speechwriting.
Yeah. So
let me say this again.
Yes.
A lot of the speeches that you see here on the floor of Parliament are not written by those who deliver it.
Definitely, because they're reading it, Pastor Mills.
Yes.
They're reading it.
It's not written by them. It's written by someone else who put the information together, and they're the deliverer of it. And, you know, every time I know that, because you can sit back there and say, oh, you didn't bring that across like I wanted it to come across.
Because I wrote it passionately, but you wrote it, or you said it not so much.
So there's great opportunities in this, I see you have here.
There is. You know, Apostle Alex Archer, my pastor at Latter Rain, mentioned recently that if you can bring a solution to a need, you will never go broke another day in your life. In life, there's always about bringing solutions to needs. And you just mentioned about being a speechwriter if you can't be a speaker. So there are opportunities, the opportunities abound on the horizon for us. It's just for us to be able to look at those opportunities and say, okay, there's a need there, I will fill that need. Just like with life.
Yes.
I looked at the horizon and the Holy Spirit through me said, okay, I want you to do this. Pastor Mills, there's a number of other things that I could be doing or be pursuing. And I asked myself the question, I asked the Lord, I said, should I really be focusing on this? I can't make no money from this. I got to find me the support. But he said, no, it's not about the money. It's not about focusing after that.
Yes.
Set your rates, make it as affordable as possible, and let that be behind you. You focus on the essence of making people's lives better. People need solutions for their lives. People have so much going on up here that it's not funny. They need someone to come in and help them with getting their lives on track.
Fantastic. My guest today, Brother Whitney Bain. He has a number of young students, Jesse Weatherford, Regime McIntosh, Rasnay McIntosh, and Brandon Albury, all students of Cyber Learning Center here in Marsh Harbor. Stay with us. We'll take a break and we'll bring you our final portion after this. Stay tuned. Abaco Pizza invites you to take advantage of their 2011 meal deals. Monday through Thursday, all day, $5 off any of their large specialty pizza. $5 off Meat Lovers, Super Supreme, and Supremes. And Wednesdays is Flyaway Day with wings. Choose from 6 bold flavors. Half dozen for $4.50. Dozen orders just $9. It's a Wings Wednesday. It's $5 off all specialty pizzas, Monday through Thursday, and Wings Wednesday at Abaco Pizza. Call 367-4HUT or 367-4333. Pickup or delivery. I love that thick crust.
I love that thin crust.
Abaco Pizza. It's your choice.
When I fly with sky. Sky Bahamas. Sky Bahamas, how may I help you?
This me, Jesse Boyle. I talking to you on my Redberry and I ride by my son's house and he tell me I could book my ticket without moving from my chair.
That's right, Miss Jessie. You can now book your tickets online.
Alrighty, darling. What Miss Jessie need to do?
Just drag the mouse to the top of the page.
Oi, mouse, right there.
Book online at www.skybahamas.net. Sky Bahamas, come fly with us.
David, tell us about your family traditions.
Well, Monday, video games. Tuesday, to the park. Wednesday, jokes. Thursday, movie. And Friday, karaoke.
David, how do your parents find the time to do so many things during the week?
Bye, Mrs. Jones.
KFC Mega Meal. More time to enjoy your family during the week.
Welcome back. It's so nice to have you with us. This is a program that your students will receive a certificate, so to speak, or is this, what would you call this?
Well, what I call it is a life profile.
Life profile.
Because quite often persons would give you a certificate, but it's a document that just says, well, you've gone through this program, you've achieved something in the program.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to go a step further in actually being able to outline what the person did in the program or what essence came from the program where they were concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was saying earlier, this document actually speaks to what the strengths are, the observed strengths,
Mm-hmm.
and the observed developmental areas for the person. And then it also speaks to the short, long-term goals. But beyond just saying, this is my short or long-term goal, it says, this is my short-term or long-term goal, but these are the steps I'm taking toward achieving that goal. And then, this is my vision for success
Mm-hmm.
at the end of those steps. So all of that is actually documented on this one document. And at the end of it all, you have an encompassing positive statement that is said by the person, which is a positive self-vision statement that's actually embedded on the document.
It gives the students something to work towards.
Yeah.
It gives them a roadmap. Okay, this is where I want to ultimately end up.
Yes.
And so it's different from what we were talking about during the commercial break when I shared my experience of attending Cornell University during for a summer program where they give you a certificate of attendance.
Right.
It's recognized around the world
Right.
by virtue of it having Cornell University and signed by the dean.
Right.
But this is not accredited.
No, it's not an accredited course.
Mm-hmm.
Items that are done in personal development are not necessarily accredited
Yes.
courses. When you do go to a personal development seminar or something like that that enhances your ability as a person or works on you internally, you may get a certificate to say that you participated or that you were a part of the audience or the participants that were there. Not necessarily an accreditation to say that this is 13 hours or 14 hours of accreditation toward
Yes.
a bachelor's or master's or whatever it is. So no, it's not accredited.
Fantastic. We're talking about the LIFE program. That's learning, identify, facilitate, and execute. Introducing these young teen students to, well, in some cases under teen, into making the choices, being focused, retooling themselves, getting life's priorities on target early in life. And goes back to which the Bible says, train up a child in the way they should grow, and when they're old, they shall not depart from it. Let's bring Brandon in. Brandon, at what age did you realize that you wanted to do mechanics?
I thought of it at an early age. I would say 10.
Mm-hmm. And how old are you now?
17.
And so you've been thinking mechanics for 7 years.
For 2 years, I worked over the summers.
Okay.
Working on mechanics.
And so you don't mind getting your fingers greasy and hands full of muck?
No, sir.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I gotta wear old clothes, because I get dirty when I work.
Okay. And so you don't mind that at all?
No, sir.
Mm-hmm. Have you been able to, since you began doing mechanical work, have you been able to fix
Yes, sir.
an injector?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Notice I said the word injector and he knew exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Because we don't deal with carburetors like that anymore. Mm-hmm.
Well, most mechanics I was working on was boat engines.
Boat engines.
Outboards and inboards.
So we'll talk about some stuff that he doesn't know again, lower units. And,
Yeah, I'm lost now.
He's lost when I talk about lower units and all that stuff, huh? And so even the engines are being made different now.
So
you're dealing with 4-stroke and two-stroke engines, and so you know about all this now. Fantastic. And let's talk about you, Rasne. What age were you when you realized you had this love for computers?
About 14.
14? Yes. And that's, how old are you now?
16.
And you've been following this for at least 2 years. That I'm really settling this. Did you have another option in your mind?
Not really.
No.
I had a lot when I was younger, but I settled on this one.
And what were some of the others?
Forensic scientist.
And why did you move away from law and order?
Because when I went to a police station, they told me that I'd have to be a police first.
Yes.
To do that, and I don't
You didn't want to go that route. But not necessarily now. That's changed now.
Someone told me that.
Yes, that has changed now. If you get the degree, they likely to take you in at a level that's not just a constable. You probably end up being either a sergeant or an inspector very quickly with the degree in that area, or specialize in that particular field. But that was one of the areas. What got you interested in that? Watching Law and Order, SUV?
Let's see. I just liked science a lot when I was younger.
Okay.
But then it changed, and now I'm more into computers.
Okay. And what got you interested in culinary?
I like to help my parents cook, and I used to help in the summertime in like grade 7 and 8 at Pete's Pub, my aunt.
Oh, you were the one who was grilling up the big hog. No? That's that.
Just washing and helping, and then I just.
But you'd be there when they were doing the roasting, pig roast. Sometimes, yes. They used to do a mean pig roast at Pete's Pub, yes. Yeah. And what do you have another area that you were thinking about before you settle on?
Yes. Like when I was younger, like in 7th grade, I used to want to be an artist. And then maybe in like 8th or 9th, I wanted to be an interior designer. And then it changed to a photographer and a chef.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have a major and you'll have a minor. Something else you can fall on. Regine, you wanted to do interior design. What else were you thinking of?
Being a fashion designer.
Fashion designer. Oh yes. Like for the wedding gown for the princess for the wedding in the UK. I saw one on TV last night. They made one out of chocolate. And they said, what do you do with the wedding gown after the wedding? Eat it. Chocolate. If you need, and then if they need any company, call me. I love chocolate. And so you move from in fashion design into interior design. Did this program cause any of you to become more focused and say, you know what? After hearing from Mr. Bain, I really think now I'm headed in the right direction. You think what he did has caused you to become more focused?
Yes, sir.
And you're now ready to face it?
Yes, sir.
Makes you want to be sure of what you want to do.
Have any of you calculated what the possible income would be from what it is you're going after?
Yes.
You never considered that you could be a millionaire from doing culinary art?
Well, I know
Well, that was not one of the...
That wasn't like the main reason why I wanted to do it. I mean, I know you'll make money, everybody has to eat. So it ain't like something that you'll never profit from. Yeah.
And an improved quality of life is one of the underlying factor why you chose the discipline you headed in?
Yeah.
You'd like to be able to have your own car and your own house and your own yacht?
Yes, but that wasn't like the main reason I picked it
Mm-hmm.
either. Money, making a good amount of money is good, but I want to like what I'm doing.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to just be there doing it just because. I want to like it and be happy to do it every day.
Yeah, so you wouldn't really consider it as a job, but it'd be something that
like
you
fun.
want to do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you talk about money with them?
Yeah, in our conversations we do bring up money,
Mm-hmm.
and there was one time when we had this whole exercise about 5 years from now, where do you see yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And the whole issue of house and where they're going to be living and children and all kind of things came up.
Mm-hmm.
And money did come up. And one of the things I did say to them is the fact that no matter what it is that you're aiming to do, you want to do it well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just about being the lawyer or the business executive or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be a mechanic, like Brandon, be a mechanic that is so switched on that your business is thriving.
Yes.
And you're making 6 figures easily, just like the lawyer or the business executive may be making.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so while we talk about money, it's also like Regime said, we're talking also about satisfaction, the ability to be happy in what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many adults right now are on a job where they are unhappy in what they're doing?
Well, Michael Jackson, all he wanted to do was sleep. Take a nap. Millions.
Yes.
And all he couldn't buy a sleep.
My Lord.
Couldn't buy a good sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're not happy at what you're doing,
Yeah.
it's not going to be worth it. And if you guys have determined that this is the stuff that's really going to make you happy, I've done, I guess, one of the things, I guess all of the things I really wanted to do in life, I did. First thing I wanted to do is fly an airplane. I thought that that's something that would take me to my grave. I wanted to do that until I retired.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to it. I did it, and I went on and moved on. The next thing I wanted to do was politics.
Mm-hmm.
I really had politics in my blood. I did it locally. I'm not going to do it nationally because I'm finished with it. And now what I'm doing, every day I wake up here at a TV station. Somehow I believe this was in my blood, just in my spirit, from my youth, because when we did our first experiment in school on making a projector, we made a box and a light and then a magnifying glass and a pinhole. I could remember making my own projector and running the negatives and seeing it on the screen.